Hello and welcome back to Elkhart Lake, site to race number 9 of the Coke Vanilla Cup Series season. You watch qualifying, you know that the front row consists of William Duncan and Mason Neal. Row 2 is Jeff James and Eric Enrage. Preston Plord, Stephen Paul III. Row 3, Sam Young, Alex Perkle. Row 4, and Theo Stegall and Chris Washer in row 5. Here's the rest of your starting grid. Tom Shelley comes into this race as the points leader by 34 points over Dylan Young. Then Amy Shelley is third in points, 54 points back. Sky Commons, 58 points back in fourth. And Steve Pollard, fifth in points, 103 points back. Rest of the top 10 in points is Henry Powers, DJ Curtis, Mo Makari, Gene Sanford, and Ashley LaPlante.
Drivers, start your engines! Is that okay?
On the front row, Matthew Moraes, who's in the back of the car, and Amy Shelley. Worth mentioning, remember that Ashley LaPlante, 10th in points, DNQ'd this race, so not in this race here today. A tough break for the driver, the number 31. But the race will go on without Ashley LaPlante, and we're not sure what to expect out of the 16 laps here today. We saw some craziness in the early going that kind of settled down into some nice, cool, calm racing yesterday in the 12-lap event that we saw here at Road America. Will the Cup guys act any differently, though, is the question. Pace car pulls off, field under control of the number 12, a Mason Neal in his first career pole-sitting effort here for Penske Racing. See the back there kind of getting spread out a little bit with the inside, or what will be driver's right, essentially, the outside row. And the green flag is that we're underway. And oh my god, that did not take long. We're going to watch the back into turn 1 here. It looks like they got through it. Amazingly enough, there's 3 abreast going into this corner. They're making it work. Well, Henry Powers actually goes around. So too does Mason Powers and Will Lewis. 2 of the Roush cars. And DJ Curtis, and a tough break for Will Lewis. He's in the tires. Mason Neal, though, gets the jump, essentially, going down into turn number 3. And Duncan has to battle with Jeff James for second. And oh my god, a huge mess back there. Looking at it, trying to look at who's involved. Sky Commons in the kitty litter. Mary Shelley, who had to use her past champions provision to get in it. I saw Tom Shelley around. He's got damage. Steve Pollard looks to have been in the dirt. Matthew Moraes has damage to the front end of his number 19 Dodge. And of course, this corner right here can be its own mess of trouble. Momo Akari's got damage in the 2. Just a story really of trying to survive the early going, if you look at it. Looked like a small buckle on the 41 of Cosmic Nova. And now as things hopefully settle down, let's see if anyone can try and catch Mason Neal. 48 of William Duncan gonna probably have the best effort at that. Jeff James, Eric Enrage into 4th. Stephen Paul the 5th, or the 3rd into 5th. Wow, that was terrible. Yeah, I know I'm not gonna hear the end of that one. Jessica Shelton's worked her way from 14th up into the top 10 here on the first lap. So a great job by the 43. Troy Kang battling with Alex Perkle here for the 10th spot as they go down into turn 1. And Dylan Casella trying to work inside Theo Stegall, Levi McIntyre, Dylan Thoreau back there. And someone went wide. I couldn't tell quite who it was. Might have been Gene Sanford in the 55. And Austin LaPlante going to grab a couple spots out of that. Levi McIntyre now trying to battle with Theo here. On driver's right, what will be the outside line for this next turn here. Or the next pair of turns, actually. Trying to make the move stick, though, around the outside. And yes, give the spot to the 99. Well, not quite. Theo drives it back in. Now Levi going to have the inside line. And Levi going to get the move to stick there, give him the 13th spot on the racetrack, maybe 15th. I don't know. Looking back up here, we have a battle for the lead. William Duncan trying to grab the top spot from rookie Mason Neal. Not able to do so yet. Eric and Rage is all over the back bumper of Jeff James now. Remember, Jeff James ran top 5 yesterday here in the Hooters Series race. Oh, Jeff James into the tires hard. Just got turned. Tough break for the 00. Sky Common still on pit road, trying to get towed essentially after he couldn't get out of the tire or out of the sand. And Duncan now back onto the inside. Eric and Rage though turning the 00. Jeff James, now Stephen Pollard III, wants third away from the 29. Well, this is something we didn't see yesterday. We didn't see a lot battling for the race lead. And now here we go. Duncan trying to grab the top spot. Hasn't gotten it yet. And now he will do so. Eric and Rage, though, hanging on to third off of the bow from Stephen Pollard third, but both of them closing right back up on the leaders. Sam Young, Jessica Shelton now into sixth. Preston Plord, Troy King, and Chris Washer and Alex Perkle battling for ninth. Kind of just taking a look, see where people are. Steve Pollard back up here, or is currently running 26th. Started from 32nd. Momo Akari and Matthew Marias have pit and taken the hoods off. Eric Powers finds himself on pit road. And Mary Shelley finds herself back in 40th. So not really the weekend Mary Shelley was looking forward to. Stephen Pollard third has grabbed third. And Jessica Shelton looking to grab fifth around the outside of Sam Young. Great job on driver's left on what was the outside of the carousel corner. Got it to stick, moved Jessica Shelton into fifth. Mason Neal all over the back bumper of the 48 still. William Duncan trying to lead his first lap of the race. Much needed bonus points if he does so for the 48. They find themselves down the order in the points coming in. Stephen Pollard III just looking for a solid run. Right now comes in this race in the 20s in the points. As boy, big battle here. Troy King going to get Preston Plord, who was actually going to try and look around the 07, who got loose off the final corner. And Troy King going to net 2 spots out of that, move him to 6th. Around Sam Young, a tough lap for Sam Young, losing 2 spots. Now coming back at the 60 of Troy King. And Jessica Shelton all over the back bumper of the 29 of Eric and Rage as they were going through the early corners here. And now Sam Young wasn't able to get the move done. And now Preston Plord was trying to look around the outside. Now what will be the inside here coming towards this next corner. Driver's left. Not able to do so. Preston Plord, though, will stay in the top 10. A great run right now for the 04. Battle here between Dylan Thoreau, Ash Curtis, Ashley Brock, and Axel Casella, all inside the top 20 right now. Some good runs for these guys who are all really needing them. Ash Curtis trying to hold it around the outside, not able to do so. And so Dylan Thoreau will be able to get the spot. That was for, I guess, 14th? Hard to tell. No, that was for 15th, okay. Ashley Brock running a little bit wide there through this corner. Going to keep it on track, though, so a good job by her. Dylan Casella has gone around Alex Perkle at some point, or Perkle was trying to get around him. Preston Plord is slow, so he might have run wide. He's lost a spot now to Chris Washer, and going to lose a spot to Dylan Casella, maybe. Nope, Casella runs a little bit wide, so Plord will hang on to the 9th spot on the racetrack. Meanwhile, Shelton all over the back bumper of the 29. Here we go. Trying to make the move. Not able to do so. Lost the momentum on that final corner. Shelton looks to be a little bit quicker. Stephen Paul III has run the fastest lap of the race. And Mason Neal has lost a little bit on the bumper off the 48 here of William Duncan. So now Pollard knows that he needs to get the move done if he's going to catch William Duncan at any point. Looks like Neal good for the short run, maybe not so much for the long run here. Jessica Shelton, you know, is feeling the pressure. She's got Troy King now coming up behind. She wants to get the move done for fourth and try and catch the 33 of Stephen Paul III. Those two have no real love lost off the track. And now Troy King going to try and look around the driver's right while Shelton tried to look driver's left. And oh boy, so Troy King going to grab fifth away from Jessica Shelton, but runs it wide, and now Shelton going to look for the crossover, not able to do so yet. If Shelton can hang around, she'll be on the inside for the next corner. Not able to do so, so Troy King, despite throwing it in wide, or running it wide on the turn that he made the pass, will keep the fifth spot. And we have a battle for second. Stephen Paul III now trying to look around Mason Neal, not able to do so. So Stephen Paul III not able to make the move yet on the 12 of Mason Neal. Look at the back of the field. Nobody new on pit road yet, so that's a good sign. Noticing some of the guys who have been able to work their way up a little bit. As now we got pit stops. Shelton the first to blink. She pits out of fifth, or out of sixth actually, and Sam Young also pits. So too does McIntyre, Nova, Brock. I see Dylan Thoreau's on pit road. Ash Curtis. Charles Sanford pits as well. A lot of guys towards the back of the field. So the pit stops begin on lap number 6 as Stephen Paul III grabs second away from the 12 of Mason Neal. Let's see if the new tires do anything for Jessica Shelton. Might get her out of traffic, which is about the best thing that it can do. Neal coming back still though, still there on Pollard. Move Stephen Paul III into second in the 33, trying to chase down William Duncan. Duncan's had a good weekend so far. Remember, he grabbed the win over at Portland earlier this week. Eric and Rage still hanging on to 4th, so that's a good sign. Chris Washer now up into 6th with the pit stops. And Theo Stegall up into 10th now as well due to pit stops. Mary Shelley now runs 38th. She's the last car on the lead lap. Jeff James and Will Lewis, the only retirees so far of the race. But Duncan has a massive, probably 1 second lead right now over the 33. As they come down to Canada corner, Eric and Rage now has caught up to the 12 of Mason Neal. So Neal's car kind of fallen off a little bit towards the end of this run apparently, so not sure what that has to do with anything, but Neal struggling a little bit right now. William Duncan will pit. Don't know why I voice cracked there, sorry. And it looks like most of the leaders will pit. Haven't seen one that has stayed out yet. Gene Sanford still will also pit. Despite running wide, Amy Shelley will pit as well. So we'll have to see where this cycles around. Jessica Shelton was first off pit road last time by. Sky Commons is 2 laps down, so this is not a battle for position right now between the Dodges. But we'll have to see where Shelton cycles out on pit road. Sam Young there in second. Obviously this time around going to be a bad sign of where she actually is on track. There's Washer. There's Neal. There's Troy King. There's Stephen Paul III. And there's William Duncan. So it appears as though Jessica Shelton will cycle around in 5th. So no positions lost there for the 43. But Troy King has jumped the 12 of Mason Neal on pit lane. Unfortunately for Sky Commons, though, he is 2 laps down. Now Mary Shelley is a lap down, apparently. Someone tells me that will actually cycle back around where she is on the lead lap. And yeah, Jessica Shelton is in 5th. We'll do a field rundown when they cycle back around because I don't want to do it with the positions kind of jumbled up as they are. And Eric and Rage had a slow stop as well. Looks to have lost a few spots. Here's where the battles are. Steve Pollard has a little bit of damage on the 27. Kind of just looking through right now, and then we'll do the official field rundown. Oh, Austin LaPlante is on pit road. Tough break for that car. As the gap apparently was 2 seconds when they came onto pit road. The gap's certainly closer this time around. Duncan is leading as they come out the final corner. Then it's Stephen Pollard III, 2nd. Troy King, 3rd. Mason Neal, 4th. Jessica Shelton just ran wide, but she still runs 5th. Gonna probably lose a spot or 2 here down this front straightaway. Dylan Casella will grab 5th away. Chris Washer will now run 6th. Sam Young is scored in 8th, but runs 7th. Eric and Rage is scored 9th, and Cosmic Nova 10th. Oh, they scored Washer 7th. Oh! No! No, my God! Sam Young. That car is destroyed. That is an... Oh, my God. As Tom Shelley and Steve Pollard both pit. Kazuyoshi's pitting. Okay, so field rundown. William Duncan leads. Stephen Pollard is 3rd, 2nd, and Troy King, Mason Neal. Dylan Casella now runs in 5th. The battle for 6th is between Shelton, Washer, Nova, and Enrage. Alex Perkle now runs 10th. Preston Plord is 11th. Gene Sanford 12th. Levi McIntyre 14th. Ash Curtis is 15th. Amy Shelley 16th. Then it's Theo Stegall 17th, Ashley Brock 18th, Momo Akari is in 19th, Dylan Young 20th, Sam Curtis 21st, Zach Kreller 22nd, Kyle Matthews 23rd, DJ Curtis 24th, Charles Sanford 25th, Jim Casella is in 26th. Oh, and Steinford's around! So now Thoreau was 27th, he's 26th. Max Newer's 27th. Mason Powers now moves up to 29th. Dixon, I think, is 31st. Pollard, I would say, is 32nd. Matthew Marias, I don't even know. Okay, Mary Shelley has gone a lap down, and Stephen Pollard III is within a car length now of the 48 of William Duncan. Stephen Pollard III looking to become the first guy this season to win 2 races. As Sky Commons apparently has a very quick car. Just ran his fastest lap of the race, which was faster than the leader's lap times. Pollard looked to the outside there of Duncan, not a good idea. And now we look at the battle back here, as Jessica Shelton's still struggling to find a line to get back into the momentum. Just get back into a rhythm, actually, is what I should have said. Now it looks like she will be able to clear Perkle, so now she can set her sights back on the 29 and the 41 and the 5, maybe even the 06 if she can get up there. Either way, if she can get a top 10, that will be a great run for the 43. Well needed as Preston Plord now tries to get around Alex Perkle for a spot inside the top 10. But Perkle going to be able to hang around on the outside and keep the spot, despite even running wide on that corner. And Plord all over the back bumper of the 1 right now as they go through the carousel. A little bit on the right. Oh, he's on the right rear quarter panel. Don't turn him. Don't turn him. Don't turn him. Don't turn him. Oh, phew. Amy Shelley battling with Ashley Brock. Great run for the 26 here. The Australian has had a troublesome season, but currently finds herself in the top 20. Great job by Ashley Brock in driving for a team that has struggled mightily this season. Dylan Young's worked his way up here a little bit. Remember, Dylan Young started back in the 29th position. Currently finds himself up in the top 20. Battling with guys in for spots almost inside the top 15. As now Preston Plord once again trying to make a move, and this time I think he will do so. As Ash Curtis running up front. Good job for him again. Sky Commons pits. Dylan Casella has gone around Mary Shelley, so her car is hurting a little bit. Kind of unfortunate for our past champion here, who has struggled all weekend long really to find speed in that car. And now the damage on that 38 not helping matters. Currently scored 34th. Hiroshi Kazuyoshi has taken his car behind the wall. So too has Axel Casella. Eric Powers still sits on pit road, now 6 laps down. Mary Shelley, though, scored the first car 1 lap down, actually ahead of Sam Young now, who we are pretty sure will be retiring from the race. And right now, Mary Shelley around this part of the course could prove to be a little bit of a handful, I guess, for some of the drivers, which could be good news for Jessica Shelton if she can get around the 38 nice and easy. Shelley kind of runs a little bit wide. Jessica Shelton gonna have to take it around the outside. Boy, but manages to make it at least stick a little bit. That's not going to be good for Shelton, who currently runs 9th. I'm sure Shelton will take a 9th place finish, though, after the struggles that team has had the last few weeks. But man, would really love to get that 38 out of the way before Preston Plord comes up here and makes a move. Perkel's fallen back a little bit. Was scored 11th, now runs 13th. And here comes Preston Plord for 9th. So Shelton struggling to get around the lap car. Going to prove helpful for Preston Plord, who now will make the move to the driver's right. Not able to get there yet, as Cosmic Nova now pits, and so too do most of the others. Troy Kang also pitting. And that leaves Duncan and Pollard out in front right now. So here on lap 11, some of the leaders making their second and what I would believe to be their final pit stop of the day, as Pollard is all over the back bumper of William Duncan. Dylan Casella is a distant 3rd. Troy King came across the line in 4th, but he was on pit road. Washer currently to 4th. And Eric and Rage back up to 5th. But Duncan trying to hang on to the race lead here, get a win for his team. Try and maybe propel them up the standings, get a little bit better of standings here to try and make races. Stephen Paul III just looking for a 2nd win on the season. Both these drivers have to make one more pit stop. Definitely will be their last. I'm hoping this doesn't end up being like yesterday where people pit on the final lap. As here comes Stephen Paul III to driver's right, the inside line on Canada corner. And move done. The 33 now, new leader. 3rd different leader on the day, 2nd lead change. And a great job by Stephen Paul III before the pit stop cycle. Gonna come in this time by, so too does Duncan. Great move by Pollard to get out in front of him. Casella will pit. So too does Washer. And Rage is going to pit. Amy Shelley and Dylan Young battling for position coming into pit road. A brave move by Amy Shelley. Gets the move done, though. Troy King was first off pit road of the leaders that time by. Let's see if that helps any at all. He was 3rd. He probably will cycle around to be 3rd, I would imagine. As Sky Commons now makes a move on Mason Neal. That's not a battle for position, as Sky Commons currently finds himself 2 laps down. Pollard is way out there. That was a great pit stop by the 33. Dylan Casella cycles around to 4th. Mason Neal 5th. Enrage is 6th. Cosmic Nova 7th. Looks like Dylan Young will be 8th. Floored 9th. And the battle for 10th will be between Amy Shelley and Jessica Shelton. Shelley gets it for now. Perkle's in 12th, going for 11th. Washer would be 13th. Or 12th, I guess. As everyone's trying to get around the 38. The 38's been the biggest hassle on the track today. As Jean Sanford now has damage to the hood of her car. Again, with me, I almost have to wait for it to cycle all the way back around because I'm never sure. Kyle Matthews is on pit road, damage to his car. Sam Curtis, a good run nonetheless, up here in the top 20. Great job for him. Ash Curtis having another solid day when he makes the races. Problem for him has been making the races. Let's see where Jessica Shelton has cycled around now. But Plord now looking inside of Dylan Young, wanting the, I believe, 5th spot? I don't know. Perkle, Dylan Young. They're 3 wide. Amy Shelley in the middle. 3 wide. Our Road America apparently works. Jessica Shelton going to grab a spot from Dylan Young on that. A brave move by Alex Perkle makes it work. Going to grab 2 spots on that one corner. Pollard now with a 3-second lead at Road America through the pit stop cycle. Duncan 2nd, Kang 3rd. Then it's Mason Neal 4th. Dylan Casella is in 5th, now going for 4th. Gonna grab the spot there pretty easily. Eric Enrage is 6th. Cosmic Nova 7th. Preston Plord is 8th. And it's Perkle 9th. Now Jessica Shelton into 10th around Amy Shelley. Dylan Young 12th. Theo Stegall 13th. Sam Curtis, an awesome 14th place run. Ash Curtis in 15th. Chris Washer has fallen to 16th. Jean Sanford worked her way to 17th. Jim Casella 18th. Ashley Brock 19th. Momo Akari's in 20th with no hood on that car. Dylan Thoreau's in 21st. Mason Powers 22nd. Charles Sanford 23rd. Tom Shelley's in 24th despite all the issues he's had. Levi McIntyre has fallen to 25th. Matt Dixon 26th. Max Newer 27th. Steve Pollard 28th. Mariah's 29th. Powers is in 30th. DJ Curtis 31st. And Eric Powers still on pit road. But what we're going to do then, well, I thought it was still going to be a battle. But okay, Dylan Young, Theo Stegall, the 2 DEI teammates battling for 12th. Amy Shelley trying to catch back up for 11th. Or the 10th spot, actually, I should say. I think now that Shelton's car is getting into a rhythm here, it's going to be hard to pass. Maybe not. Here comes Amy Shelley back inside for 10th, or to driver's right, I should say. And that should be a pretty easy move to get done here into the right-hander. As Theo Stegall, a great move to get past his teammate Dylan Young. The gap closing to 3 seconds that time around for the distance between the 33 and the 48. Might be a little bit of a crinkle on the hood of the 43. That might explain some of the reasons for being a little bit slower, as here comes Theo Stegall now for 11th. The rookie's been very impressive since taking over for Henry Sanford. Dylan Young going to grab a spot now. Sam Curtis, Ash Curtis battling for a position back here. Chris Washer trying to get up into this battle, as too is Jean Sanford. So the 2 Curtises battling for 14th on the racetrack right now. What could be a battle for 13th if they get up to the 43. Oh my god, these are close quarter racing right here. Washer trying to get a spot out of this. This might be where your next wreck comes from, folks. Gene Stanford just watching this battle. Ash Curtis, move him to 14th though. Washer trying to get 15th away from the 66. I don't think he'll do so though. And Gene Stanford trying to put the bumper to the 5. The Domino's Dodge trying to get around the CarQuest Chevy. As Mason Neal has gone around Dylan Casella, Eric and Rage now trying to get the 5th spot away. As Troy Kane goes for 2nd on William Duncan. Could Troy King maybe catch Stephen Paul III here in the final 2 laps of this race? 2 to go for the 33. Gap widens to 3.2 seconds. Is there any lap traffic? No. Troy King, though, to 2nd. He was 11th in the points coming in. Going to get a great 2nd place run, possibly. Yeah, Duncan runs a little bit wide. As Dylan Casella and Eric and Rage try and battle for 5th. Not able to do so there. Oh, and Amy Shelley's in the wall. She's gotten turned by Theo Stegall, I think. Heavy damage to the side of the 89. Ash Curtis battling with the 43 now. Sam Curtis going to push the 78 down the straightaway. No love lost there, I guess. No surprise either that those two are helping each other. Let's see who can get the better run off this next left-hander. It will be Sam Curtis grabbing the spot from Jessica Shelton. Still, either way, a top 20 will be very much needed. As Theo Stegall, that was for 9th apparently. Not sure who they passed on the racetrack to have gotten that spot. Boy, Perkle has fallen way back, hasn't he? Henry Powers on pit road there. As Stephen Paul III will see the white flag this time by. And now the question is going to be, can Amy Shelley hang on to what will be 10th spot? This is essentially the battle. Well, never mind. Dylan Young's not far enough behind Amy Shelley to actually lose the spot. These are the two guys who are trying to be, or the two drivers who are trying to be the top 2 guys in the points, because Tom Shelley's run into problems. And Theo Stegall pits. So too does Sam Curtis. What? And Eric and Rage is going for 5th on Dylan Casella now. So people pitting, coming to the white flag. And the gap was down to 2.9 seconds. As now Ash Curtis, this is for a top 10. Ash Curtis into 10th. Dylan Casella trying to put the bumper back to the 29. The battle for 5th is really good. Troy King trying to close in. He's not going to have enough time, though. And actually, the other road course win that Pollard had this season came on a road course. It was Mosport the last time that Stephen Pollard went to Victory Lane, and it looks like he'll go to Victory Lane here at Road America. Pollard doing great at the road courses this season. That was kind of unexpected. Just a couple corners to go, though. Unless something goes wrong inside the 33, it will be Stephen Pollard III going to Victory Lane for the 2nd time this season, clinching himself a chase berth if he can stay top 30 in the points. Troy King not going to be close enough when it matters most. That was bad. That is really bad. I almost gift this, totally. But Stephen Pollard III wins at Mosport, or Road America. Wow, I failed at the end of this. That is terrible. I'm sorry, folks. Duncan third, Troy King second, Mason Neal will still come on fourth. Eric and Rage in a photo finish over Dylan Casella for fifth. Lord is eighth. Ash Curtis comes home 10th. Still waiting for the next car. There's Levi McIntyre, 17. Oh no, 15th actually. That's right, the 1566 pitted. There's Theo. There's Sam. There's Perkle. Apparently Dylan Thoreau pitted on the final lap too. He'll come home 21st. Tom Shelley comes home 22nd. Ashley Brock apparently pitted as well. So too did maybe Charles Sanford, Momokari, Matthew Marias. Oh, Dixon's got damage. What the heck? Was that the 19? Yeah, it was. What happened there? Oh, we had a wreck on the final lap. Well, normally we save the wrecks for the last thing, but that explains the damage to the 40. And Marias, I guess, considering it's the final lap, decided, hey, I'm just going to try and limp it across the line. Eric Powers never did get the tow job done, apparently. But that will do it here today. Eric Powers, 14 laps down. Wow. They never got that car towed all the way to the pit lane, apparently. Top 10 here today. Stephen Father III, Troy King, William Duncan, Mason Neal, Eric and Rage, Dylan Casella, Cosmic Nova, Preston Plord, Amy Shelley, and Ash Curtis. An impressive job for him. Dylan Young, I believe, will be the points leader leaving here. So for the first time in a couple weeks, a new points leader. We'll take a short commercial break and we'll be right back to show you the wrecks here today from Road America. Congrats to Stephen Podstead, though. So we're back to take a look at the wrecks now, and here was the first one that we had on the day on lap 1 in turn number 3, and there's a couple wrecks here. Charles Sanford going to kind of clip the 6 into the 16, around goes the 16 and the 90, and then just up ahead there you see the 05 turning the 6 into the tires. And that would end Will Lewis's day very early on, a tough break for car number 6. And it's no real shock to me that later on lap 1, in fact, actually the very next corner, we had more problems. This one involving Sam Curtis and Sky Commons. Oh, Levi McIntyre actually turned in 66. And it turns the 10 off into the, almost into the gravel. And he actually kind of just backs into the gravel, actually, is what happens. But there's a little bit more of an issue back here behind him. As you're going to see, Steve Pollard gets a little bit too heavy on the brakes here. Going to back it into the rear end of the 20. Get pushed by the 40 of Matt Dixon as well. And Max Neuwirth's going to get pushed in by the 96. They spin around. And that's where Akari actually gets her damage in turning the 45 of Tom Shelley around. So Tom not really able to miss a whole lot of stuff today either. He had a tough day, but was able to rebound. Here, once again, the wreck between Eric and Rage and Jeff James on Canada Corner. Unfortunate end of the day for the Aaron's Dream Machine. Had a good day going. Had a great weekend, actually, all in all. Oh, my God. Actually could see how the right rear of that car just came off the car. Wow. So Austin LaPlante was the next person to have an off, and his off, really the chain of events starts right here in this corner, and he'll run wide, kicks up some dust, gets back on track, nothing too bad there. But the problem is then it sets up the line for this corner, and he is way too tight in this corner, and it's going to go off the track just a little bit. Could not quite hold it. And then into the dirt he goes. And is what happened so many times yesterday. Or in the D&Q race, I mean, actually. Just finds it into the tires. And at the same time that LaPlante was having his off, this happened all the way on the other side of the track at Canada Corner. Gene Sanford gets way too aggressive here. Gonna clip the 80 and hard into the tires goes Axel Casella. Absolutely destroying that car. And here's what happened to Hiroshi Kazuyoshi to put him out just a lap later than the Casella and LaPlante incidents. Coming into the same part of the course, LaPlante, DJ Curtis gonna make some slight contact to the left rear after Kazuyoshi ran wide. And that damage right there would be enough to end the day for the 59. And one lap, or pretty much on the next lap, Sam Young would find his own issues on the track. So here we are on the front straightaway. This was all set up because Jessica Shelton had run wide on the last corner of the track. But Sam Young's 3 wide with Chris Washer going into turn 1. And Cosmic Nova going to make some contact with the 07. Or no, and then, yeah, it was actually Washer that sent him off the track. And, oh my gosh. Let's take another look at this. With a camera angle that actually works. We'll try this one. I don't think this one exactly works. Eric and Rage actually is the one that gets into the 5. Yeah, and this one doesn't work because of that. Who did we have in that vicinity? Oh, we didn't have any onboards. Sorry. Yeah, no onboards in that vicinity. So that's about the best look that we have of this, other than our helicopter cam. And just, wow, barely gets into the tires. If he was just a little bit later, he actually would have gone wall and been able to continue. Next incident on the day involved Zach Kreller, and this one was a little bit of a freak accident just because of where he hits this tire wall. But Kyle Matthews, like we've seen a couple times today, clips the right rear, and into the tires goes Kreller, and his day just done right then. The idea of seeing Zach Kreller getting turned by Kyle Matthews, I think makes this that this happened on the very next lap even more fitting. I mean, just kind of funny in the sense that Kyle Matthews on the very next lap gets wrecked. But here we go. Mason Powers kind of doing the same thing, but right rear. And sends Kyle Matthews into a vicious lick into the wall. A lot more violent than the Kreller incident the lap before. That will be the last incident that we take a look at, though, because it's the last one I recall. Thank you for watching this race. Leave a like if you enjoyed. We'll see you next time. Martinsville is next week. Oh boy, that should be interesting.